This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by Author You and the Book Shepherd. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Well, here we are as you first listen to this in the heart of February. And I can't believe I've just come back from the awesome, amazing Publishing at Sea cruise that we just did. So that was terrific. And here's the other great news. I finished my next book. So I guess now we say it's the last book. So we move into editing and then to layout, and we have it. We're all ready to go. This is the book, How to Create a $1 Million Speech. And it's all about your expertise and your book. And we're going to talk about your expertise today and actually how we integrate it, weave it through, explode, create the buzz, and literally take over social media. With me, I have one of my favorite social media experts, Melody Jones, and we're going to get into a variety of areas from, the good old Facebook, after I had a conversation earlier this morning with one of my colleagues saying, if you don't have a group, Facebook is going to be dead for you. So I want Melody to talk about that, whether she agrees or disagrees. That's always fun. And Melody is known as Social Media Melody. So with that, Melody, welcome back to Author You.
Hi, good. Glad to be here from Colorado.
There you go. We're glad. We are glad to have you here. All right. So here we're off and running. And I just, maybe we'll just kind of jump in. I've been doing that with all my shows at the beginning of every year. What's old, what's new, and what's blue. Yes, what's old, what's new, what's blue, and I can't remember what it's been a long time since I've been to a wedding.
I don't. We'll get it figured out. Oh, I don't know either. Me too, Judith. Long time.
Yeah, there we go.
On the wedding front, as you know. Okay.
So what's going on in social media? What's kind of blasé from 2017?
Oh, okay. So what's blasé in social media is just simply putting out content like a content mill. And we've said that before, but more and more that's really not going to get you the engagement that you're looking for and the attention that you want as an author for what you're writing. So that's the main thing. That's the main thing is quit being a content mill, actually engage. And that's really nothing new. We harp on that quite a bit, but more and more lately, and I'll tell you why, especially in the Facebook universe, why that's really important. For example, in Facebook, they've changed their algorithm. I'm sure that's not news. They always change their algorithm, and we see a lot of those posts. This time they really did, and organic reach is going to go down yet again. And so it's going to be tough for anybody with a business page to get seen. That's the gist of it. And so I'll tell you why.
To one person.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're going to go down to one person. Only one person sees your things. What a waste of time.
It is a waste of time. And that being said, Facebook is still the big gorilla on the block. Still today, it's still the major platform. 2 billion people use it. So how can you use Facebook now that they've really tweaked their algorithm? And they tweaked it because they want to see more back and forth conversation on posts that are going out there, and people complained a lot. And so now it's real people over brands. And make no bones about it. You're a brand if you're an author. You're a brand. You're a business. So you fall in that category.
Yeah, let me just say this. I was, on looking at some stuff on my personal page this morning, because I have several pages, and I'm really, all our listeners, please join the Publishing with the Book Shepherd group. I have to bring you in, but go to request to join it, because we'd love to have you in the conversation. But here's what I'm seeing, Melody, everywhere: ads. and how it
lots of ads.
It's there, and they're dropping them right in your feed. They're right in your feed, and
that's right.
So I don't want to.
I can talk more on that. Well, so let's just be honest about Facebook. They're in it they're in business. So of course they're going to not give away their stuff for free, and they're pulling back on that. So if you want to get some engagement on your Facebook page, you need to put a strategy in place that includes a couple things, and advertising where you pay for that is one of the ways you can do that. But also they just made it possible to set up a group from your Facebook page. This is big. It's a group from your Facebook page.
Yeah, I did that.
And groups, oh, you've done that. And it's attached to your page. So if your page is, author so-and-so, your group can be attached to that. And the people that already like your page can get invited to that. And it's all very exciting because in a group, people engage a lot more. And it's your opportunity as an author to get seen, to get known, to be a real person. They want to see the real person. They don't want to just see your SEO flavored content. They want to see who you are and what you're about. And I'm sure I've seen yours. What's your experience with your group, Judith? You have several that are successful.
I throw out a variety of things, and I always try to make a comment on top of it if it's a poster or something to try to kick it. Sometimes people respond, sometimes they don't. If anyone posts anything in my group, I will do a like on it. I will, and often I will make comments on it. So it's just really it's that going on. I don't know how Facebook's algorithm judges a like or a love or a comment. I'm sure they all have measurements.
It's going down. They want to see less passive interaction, and a like and a love and all that is good. You want that, but it's not going to get you seen as well as comments will.
All right.
You just want to see interaction, even in groups. Yeah. So you want to like it. You want to have that interaction too, but they want people to actually take the time to say something and to have a conversation back and forth. And within this is some research I came across recently, another little used still, and we've talked about this for a couple of years, a little used aspect of Facebook is going live on video on Facebook, and you can do it from your group. And this is not used very much still to today, and it gets 6 times the engagement than over regular recorded videos. So why aren't we using it? That's my question. Why aren't we using it? A lot of people say, well, I'm not ready. I don't have a good background. You know what? Get up in there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've seen you hop on whenever you feel like it, Judith. You just hop on and you go live when you have something to say. And this is what I need authors to do. Get on there. This is how you're going to get people to know who you are and value your expertise and eventually buy your book.
Well, exactly. And it's like I have one of the podcasts we did earlier. And, I have a poster I make for every podcast anyway. And then I put it up, and then as it goes, on the day it goes live, I will start posting it and making comments. I'll put the poster up and say, something about it and don't miss it, that kind of thing. And I mean, for example, we did one with Susan Gilbert not too long ago that was called Good Marketing. And it was really, she has a lot of great tips in there, a lot of wonderful, wonderful tips. And excellent. Marketing is always one of the critical things that authors want to know. I think what they want to know is, they want to know how to do it, but they don't want to do it. And
right. Yes.
What they wanted to do is they want it in a microwave format, and they want someone else to do it for them, or better yet, it just does it all by itself. That's what they really want. That is what they really want. And we can do some automation, and I think any strategy you use on all social media is a combination of automation and live. This is what some automation to get some of your messages out there, but you also need to come back in and interact. You have to do it, and there's really no shortcut for that.
I do manage many authors, and I do take care of all of it behind the scenes as much as I can, but I can't be the one going live. Live video, needs to be done by the authors themselves. Mm-hmm. That's really the trick.
Yes, and
there's no big shortcuts.
Yeah, and so one of the things I want to tell everyone, if you have a VA who works for you, which I do, I have a full-time VA, one of her jobs is actually to monitor stuff. And if there's any comment that goes up, whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook or on Twitter, I am immediately notified, and I will write a comment that she will take back and repost. So
absolutely, that's one way to handle it. If you have somebody helping you, is that you have a really good working relationship with them, and they alert you to when you need to respond and interact. Absolutely, that's a great way to do it, and save yourself time.
Yeah. Well, exactly, because to me, I've always said Facebook is the giant suck of all time. And that
it can be. It can be. So you've got to use it judiciously.
Yeah, you do have to put yourself. I put people on Facebook diets before. You have to really look at your time and where you're going. You check out a few things, get a couple of posts, put a couple of posts on the day, a couple of variables and images. Add an image. It's always a good idea. And had it and I'll just share it. I know we're coming up to a break here real quick, but I have a neighbor who all of a sudden she shows up with all her geraniums that are dying. Oh. She puts them on my porch. I bring them in, I get them all back, I take care of them, and I have a window that faces the afternoon sun. And even though it's 5 degrees at times, it doesn't matter. It gets this sun. And lo and behold, I have 13 new geranium stems that should be coming up in summertime, but they are loving, February. So what can I say? All right. So
wow.
So I took a picture of the stems coming up. That was my point here. I just said, and I just shared that.
Yes.
And that's the thing you want to do. All right, we're going to take a quick break. With us is Melody Jones. We're talking about social media strategies for 2018 for awesome authors, our listeners, and that things you need to do. Right now, we're kissing Facebook. We'll be right back.
Is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Is there a book in you or another? Author U will show you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you'll find a supportive and brainstorming community that's connected and creative no matter where you live. Author U brings in national experts for its book camps and annual author extravaganza held each May. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through Author U's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. The Resource, its online book publishing news magazine, is content heavy and it's free. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, Author U is for you. If you're a hobbyist or a casual author, it's not. Join Author U today through its website at authoru.org. Follow Author U on Twitter at Author U and on Facebook at Author U, where timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted daily. Author U, where the author goes to become seriously successful.
First impressions are everything in the world of book publishing. Whether your book is an ebook, a print version, or both, your book cover needs to pop, sizzle, and sparkle to immediately capture the attention of your audience. And your book's interior needs to be just as dynamic and reflect the professionalism your readers demand. Nick Sellinger of NZ Graphics has won numerous national and international book awards for his cover designs and interior layouts. With over 20 years of experience in graphic design, he knows what it takes to create award-winning books and the many promotional pieces that authors need, such as posters, banners, postcards, one-sheets, business cards, logos, and more. Visit ncgraphics.com and see what authors and publishers have to say about their award-winning books and how NZ Graphics can make your book the success it was meant to be. That's nzgraphics.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, so here we go. We're talking Facebook, and I am very open about my love-hate relationship with it. And that, and as I said before the break, to me, it's one of the big, it could be energy sucks. I've had to put clients on diets, Facebook diets, because so much time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to be careful. You have to be smart with your strategies here. Millie's going to talk about some of them, but the whole deal literally is they keep changing. They're a money-making machine. They are the gorilla, and that how can you control it to your best advantage? So, Melody, let's jump in more into that.
Okay. I just have some ideas for authors. Since we know that live video gets 6 times more interaction, why not create a live video show every Wednesday morning at 10. I don't know when. Just make it consistent and make it every week. And over time, people will come to expect that that's when you're going to get on and talk. So there are ways to sort of work around the algorithm a little bit without having to pay a ton of money in your advertising. But creating a show has worked well for a couple of people I know. I think authors could easily do that.
Well, and then and I'm going to suggest make it short. Don't make it long. Come in with a couple of tips or something. And do that.
That's right.
Someone had tried to get me on their show, and she says, well, you have to go on I don't know what her format she was doing, but I went in and I never got an invite to be on the show. I mean, you could go solo yourself, which makes it really easy. But when I've done Facebook Live, I've actually set an invite so they come in and I can open it up. And she was saying, no, you have to do this on your phone. So, I was on my phone. I went to her page, and she still didn't bring me in. So I don't know what the hiccup was there. So I think what you want to do is test it yourself. I would be number one. Test it yourself. So go solo for it.
Absolutely. That's right. And solo is fine. Actually, solo is great. Solo would be really great for FAQ videos. If you, as an author, get a lot of questions on your characters or the content in your book or that could be simply what you get on and talk about. Here's, the question of the week from this reader. Mm-hmm. It could be easy. People love that stuff.
Yeah, Melody, you're suggesting doing this just once a week, not daily.
I am suggesting once a week, and the reason is authors, as you and I know, get overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So start where it makes sense. Do it once a week and get consistent with it, and train yourself to be consistent with it. And if you want to add in more, do so later. But I say start with once a week.
Well, I love that idea.
Reader question. Yeah, why not? Don't overwhelm yourself. There's no need to.
So I think here for everyone is remember you're the brand, you're the business, and you're the brand. So it could be 15 minutes. I mean, keep it short. And then what you would do, whatever other channels are, announce that you're going to be live. And
Absolutely.
You got to let them know that you're coming. And I remember years ago when I started this show, 4 years ago. My husband listened, so I'd have one listener. All right, so, and then
I remember.
word starts building on that. I just had a wonderful email from someone, Jay, who had been listening, and he said, "My God, if I had just found you 9 months ago." if I had just been listening.
Wow.
And so, your words are important. You may be a loner for a while, and that's okay. That's how you test. That's how you get better. That's called practice.
That's right.
And I'll never remember, after Michael Jackson died, there was a video on what he did in rehearsals. And some of his dancers were making mistakes in that. And he said, stop. It's okay. That's why we do rehearsals. This is practice.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I think that we all need to keep that in mind. That's very powerful to know you're going to screw up. It happens.
Yes. It does.
That's because we know that.
You can't get better at going live unless you practice that. And I can tell you that your fans, especially if you're going through your group, are very forgiving of that. They like to see how human you are. If you come on and you stutter, so what? Are you offering good content? Are you engaging? What are you talking about? That's really more what they're interested in, and they like to see you as a person. So don't let that stop you. I know it's intimidating. I feel that pain. I do. But yeah, jump in. It's the only way to do it.
Well, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet, and I'm going to go ahead.
You are? Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
Great.
And so I'm going to do it, and I think that noon. I'm thinking noon, just a quick, you grab a sandwich, grab a cup of tea, grab a soda, whatever the heck you do, just for a quick shorty. Here's your, kind of a tip idea of what you can do right now to move ahead and just take advantage of these things on that. And I wouldn't try to get. I'm going to make a suggestion to all of you. Don't get fancy dancy here. Don't try to show them a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you could hold up a piece of paper or something with a web address on it or something if you want to make sure they get a spelling right of something you're talking about. But I don't think you should get too complicated with this. No,
because what I have discovered with authors is that if they make it too complicated, they don't do it. So there's no reason to get super fancy like that. If down the road you've advanced and you're feeling more comfortable, maybe you can add some of that stuff in. But in the beginning, I wouldn't worry about it.
So, Melody, are you? Okay, so is this what we do through Be Live? Is that through Be Live, or is that another?
So there's a couple ways to go live on Facebook. You can just go into Facebook itself from your phone if you want to do it that way, or you can go through BeLive.com, and it's a platform that you can set up to then broadcast on Facebook. And I believe that's the one you used before to host other people in on your broadcast. Is that correct? Okay. And I think there's more than one out there now. That's the one I'm more familiar with. It's basically, I'm going to give everybody listening here a resource. It's called SocialMediaExaminer.com. If you want to learn how to do these things from people that will take you through it step by step, every article I ever see on there, they will take you through how to go live on Facebook and how to do video on Facebook, etc., and on every platform. So this is a great place to learn, because everything you and I are talking about might sound like a foreign language to those that have never done it. So if you don't understand it, then it's up to you to learn it. But it's easy when you have people that will take it through you step by step. And so there's people out there that will show you how to get on Facebook Live and do it effectively.
I'm going to echo your shout out for Social Media Examiner, because they are, instead of going to YouTube and have every Joe Schmo, and I'm telling you, trying to show you how to do something. Yeah. They really do set it up professionally. It's a freebie. You can get freebie stuff here. The articles step by step, and it's very clean. Yeah. It's very clear. So, I just like to echo what you're saying here.
Absolutely. It's good for the layperson. I use it myself. If I want to get up on the latest, I'll go on there myself. It's just because there's a lot to keep up with in social media, as you know. But it's your best resource.
All right. So
check it out.
That is essential. And then I'm going to tap into it. We talked about Be Live. So can you suggest how would you go on your phone and do it? Start a live video on your phone.
On your phone. So the first thing I would say is it would be get yourself a piece of equipment that holds your phone steady.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So,
is the first thing to do.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Now, if you're out and about and you're doing live on the run, you're going to hold your phone most likely. But if you're sitting at a desk or whatever you're doing, get a piece of equipment that'll hold it. And when you go into Facebook, you can go into your group or on your personal page or on your business page, any of those. And there is a way to go live by simply clicking into the field where you would normally type something. Like if you were going to type a status, what you do is put a description in that field, and then you would click live video, and that's all there is to that. It'll give you a little bit of a countdown, and as you get situated, and then boom, you're live, and you're broadcasting live to Facebook.
All right, so that's
that easy.
All right, so that sounds great. All right, so we've got 2 minutes before our next break. What other topic can we kiss?
Okay. Let's do Twitter that moved up to 280 characters, and I know you have an opinion on that.
Well,
Twitter.
I like I like short. I mean, I'm into snappy, sassy, salty, and I like short deal.
Right.
And for people to rant. Now, what I do love is the capability, because when I put up my tweets for my show, I'd have to go back and I'd count like to 130 or something. So you could have the retweet capability. But that's right. I like the ability to flow over, but I absolutely will not be maxing it at 280. I won't be maxing it much over 160. So
I found that to be true even for me, and I'm not trying to even curtail how many characters I'm using, and I find I use about 160 normally at the new 280 characters increase. So I've seen some people write, pretty long posts with that. The jury's still out on how most effectively to use the 280. It's out a little bit because people are sort of regrouping on how they're using it. Like, what's the most effective way? Are people still really responding more to the shorter tweets, or are they enjoying the longer tweets?
Melody,
so
I haven't seen anything about that, and maybe that might be a good a search. We can maybe between you and I we can figure this out. We take this next break here in a couple of seconds, but I mean that's a good idea. I mean I like being able to go over that that 140 count, just because
Me too.
But I'm not going much over. And with that, we're going to take another quick break.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Want to publish like a pro today? Well, then take a look at Ingram Spark, the only publishing platform that offers print and ebook services through a single source. Upload, edit, and manage titles all in one place. Take more control of printing costs with print on demand, and reach even more readers through one of the world's most extensive distribution networks. Built by independent publishers for independent publishers, Ingram Spark has everything you need to maximize your book's potential: color printing, ebook distribution, print on demand, global reach, and more. Start publishing with Ingram Spark today and see just how far your titles will go tomorrow. That's ingramspark.com.
Many of us have dreamed of writing a book.
Some of us even have.
Then the hard work starts.
You'll need an editor.
Who will design the cover or typeset the pages?
Who will format the ebook?
If you're a business owner, consultant, or coach with a serious message and expertise to share, the team of experts at 1106 Design can guide you through the maze.
They've helped more than 1,000 authors create top-quality books and avoid the not-so-reputable self-publishing companies.
Learn more at 1106design.com.
Then call Michelle at 602-866-3226. 1106 Design.
When
When Ned Thompson and Harry Shore started Thompson Shore in 1972, they believed employees with great character would make up the best company. They were right. They hired people who were not only experts in bookmaking, but who were obsessed with quality and delivering exceptional customer service. Almost 40 years later, Thompson Shore remains a 100% employee-owned company. Ned and Harry knew that successful customer projects are a direct result of empowered employees. We specialize in all books for large and small publishers. Creating beautiful and well-made books, we're dedicated to pleasing our customers by making the experience a good one from start to finish. The personal touch we have with our customers allows us to be innovative in solving their most difficult challenges. Our platform also ensures that we can remain flexible to meet our customers' unique needs and expectations. Our marketing kit can create buzz for your title, enhancing the promotion of your book during infancy. When you need to test the market to gauge your future sales, we can provide digitally printed books that will transition seamlessly into a larger offset run. From ebook to hard copy to delivery, our skillful customer service teams are at the ready to answer your most pressing question. At Thompson Shore, we know that making the highest quality books requires more than just best technologies. It requires superior customer service, professionalism to the trade, and commitment to environmental and social values. With these standards of excellence in place, you can be sure that we will always help you put your best book forward.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Coming up, you'll hear more about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
With me is Melody Jones. You can find her at is it SocialMediaMelody.com? Melody, is that our website?
It is, yes.
SocialMediaExaminer.com. I highly recommend it. And that we're just talking about some strategies, what's working, what needs to be changed a little bit. Certainly Twitter increased their character usage, but both Melody and I are kind of the opinion people are not maxing it at all. They're staying more closer to the old usage versus the new usage. That's my gut on it. And when I look at my Twitter feed, and I've got an extensive Twitter feed, it's pretty much people are staying in that realm. So, c'est la vie. With that said, I would love, before we jump into Instagram, because there's lots happening with Instagram, I'd love to have you do some, if you can give us some feedback. Microsoft took over LinkedIn a year or so ago, and there's been changes there. How is this, what do you think about LinkedIn?
I think LinkedIn is a very powerful program, or very powerful social media network to be on. I think authors should be on there. And it can be both fiction and nonfiction authors. Nonfiction tends to do a little bit better because they speak on topics that the professional might want to know about. So I think one of the underutilized aspects of LinkedIn is the blogging part of it. I'm still not really seeing people blogging on LinkedIn as often as they could be. Okay, so that's the
publishing side. That's there where you can publish.
Yeah, it's the publisher.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what I mean by that. Yeah, you can publish, and when you look at the back end of it, it looks just like you would do a blog post that has all the same functionality on the back end of it. So you can format and add photos, etc. I don't see a lot of people using that function, but I happen to know that it gets noticed. People see that more often, and actually the people that work at LinkedIn, the LinkedIn people, will occasionally pull articles from those kinds of published posts, and they will highlight it. And so then more eyes get on it. But they don't do it from posts that you're just linking in there. So it can be powerful in that way. I feel like I haven't seen I don't know, have you seen a lot of change? I haven't seen a lot of change other than I just think people need to be using it every day, actually. I think you got to be on LinkedIn every day, Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday is when people are on there, interacting and publishing and getting some posts out there. And look for groups to be a part of, authors. Look for groups to be a part of and engage with. And I know that Judith has had lots of good luck with the group end of things on LinkedIn. So I think it's underutilized in the author world. That's what I find.
Well, I think that, LinkedIn still has some of the old stigma that it was only for careers, which is so passé.
Yeah.
And
right.
that what Melody is talking about is that when you go on a LinkedIn page, and I am also a firm believer that y'all should, not you all, but a great majority of you should be on LinkedIn. And if you've got a business book, there is no exception. You should be LinkedIn. In most cases, I think in the business book world, in nonfiction business books, Twitter is your feed and LinkedIn is your other feed. But what I'm going to tell you is, and now that with Melody's talking, with the Facebook groups, that the big power in LinkedIn is the groups and the ability to do a post. It's not called a blog. It's, publish. You can publish.
Yeah.
When you go right on and you want to publish something. Well, here's what I do. At least once a week, I'll take a blog. I'll tweak it just a little bit, copy the bloody thing in, and repost it. If you've got 500 followers, they all know that you've got a new post. That's just smart. That's just smart. But what I really want everyone to consider doing is to create a group. Now, the Author U, and that's the letter U, group started maybe 5 years ago. And maybe there was the first year there was 60 people, nothing. There is now 17,000 people in it. And that once they start really growing like Topsy, and they will, organically they will grow, you can step back as the creator moderator because it takes over itself. Now, I have my VA, we look for trolls, we remove them. We've had to remove a few people. That you get in, and there's some really lively conversations, and I try to drop in once a week and do a quick run through of what's new in posting and make comments on it and do that. But it's highly interactive, and that the plus for you is, whether fiction or nonfiction, is that you create a group and you've got an expertise. Now, it could be that, fantasy fiction is your expertise. You could create a whole group around that. And for me, publishing and authoring is my expertise. I've got, that's what the group is about, and going for it. And so that's what I would suggest you do. And then invite a few colleagues that who would help do a few posts for you to just get it going. And then the other thing is that when you start a group, you're already on LinkedIn, that you can go out and invite people, tell you to create the group rules, what it's about. You could invite people to come in and join in. That's how you start it building. That's it. So I'm a big believer.
That's absolutely true. And I think, you can show your expertise, but I think authors might be surprised at the connections they can make because of it in their industry. So while, maybe you would connect with, if your expertise is something in the finance world, if you can connect with somebody that's complementary to you, you never know what can happen. I've seen people be able to get speaking engagements just by being active in a group and connecting with others who have an interest in what they have to say and can see that they know what they're talking about. Yeah. So as we know, speaking is part of it, and it's an excellent way to do it.
Yeah, and again, LinkedIn has the same capability as Facebook, where you can hop around and visit. And now I'm a member of a lot of groups, and I really don't have the time to move around the way I should. I mean, personally, I should be dropping into the different writing and publishing groups and just see if I can add comment. But again, I have to watch my time, and what you have to maybe is you just do one a day. You can go in and look at it, say, okay, 15 minutes and I'm out. And because I think that, and I would love to have you talk, Melody, about managing social media. I mean, literally managing social media. And also, I would like to have you get into, before we kiss, Instagram, which is, I think, the hot one going. And we have to do that. Maybe we'll spend our last quarter hour really getting into that. But I think people need to know, is there any time that's better than others? It used to be very select times. I'm not so sure that's all that in cement now, where you should be posting on Facebook, LinkedIn. So jump in here.
Well, jump in on that. So in terms of the management end of things, the first thing to know is where is your target audience? So when I look at managing somebody else, if they say they're on 5 different platforms, I have to question that, because where is your target audience? Are they on Facebook? That's not always true. Are they on LinkedIn? So this is where you start in management, is you narrow it down to where are your people hanging out, and pick 2 and put your efforts there. That's going to help solve some of the time constraints people feel. Is just pick 2 and get good at those 2. Once you figure that out, you're going to do a combination in terms of management between automation, which is you can use something like Hootsuite to get some content out there. But then your strategy must include just what you said, is you need to go in every day and interact live as well. And so in terms of managing that, it's best if you, what I do is I have a set time every day where I go and I do that. And that's all I do during that stretch of time. I also plan ahead. So if you want to manage effectively, you need to look at your calendar and look ahead as to what kind of content do you want to post when. Is there a holiday coming up that you should be talking about and engaging with? And plan ahead. The more planned ahead you are, the less overwhelmed you'll feel. And so you can plan ahead a lot of your content. If you're going in live to your different platforms, Twitter especially, and there's a real-time event going on that you can connect with, then you've got to get in live and do that. And I know that you and I have talked about that many times. If there's a real-time event that an author has an expertise in, they can jump into that. And so this is why it's important not to just automate. You're not a crock pot. You're not going to just set it and forget it. So you do have to go in live and do all of that. So tools are your friends. And so what you might do is do a search on SocialMediaExaminer.com or just on Google and find tools that can help you manage your social media in a way that's not overwhelming. So those are my biggest tricks right there. Track down resources that you can use. Pixabay.com, as we've talked about, is a great resource for images and so forth, so that you're not constantly hunting for royalty-free images that are free for public use. So it's important to get your tools in order, and that's how you manage social media. So don't try to do too much at once.
It's always all right. With that, we're going to take our final break, and we'll come back and really talk about. And what I want to do is kiss on. Is there a certain time of the day you should post on Facebook? Is there a certain time?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So let's kiss that, and we'll jump into Instagram. All right. We'll be right back.
Is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and a guide to partner with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand, and is a financial success, a bestseller. It's your choice. You choose. You need the book shepherd. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You don't need problems. You want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and the chaos. At times, she's had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher or by a publishing service provider, or sometimes even the author themselves. Judith Briles is the book shepherd. If you want to create a book with no regrets, give her a call today. 303-885-2207. That's 303-885-2207, or email her at judith@briles.com. By the way, Briles is spelled B-R-I-L-E-S. Follow Judith on Twitter at My Book Shepherd and on Facebook at The Book Shepherd.
One of the most important decisions you will ever make is your choice for printing your book. You are choosing a company which will be responsible for guiding you through the process and printing your book at a level of quality and detail that embraces your personal and creative needs. You want to choose a company that when your book finally arrives, you are delighted and ready to move on to the next level, and one that is customer focused. Choose King Printing Company and Addy Books to be that company that brings you to the next level. Go to kingprinting.com or call 978-458-2345 and ask for Tom Campbell.
At Total Printing Systems, customer service is our priority. We are located in Southern Illinois. Our employees have an average of 18 years experience and know that customer relationships are important to our continued success. We have been a short-run book printer for nearly 40 years and always stay at the forefront of technology. Our niche is from 1 to 5,000 copies. Today, we offer digital, black and white, and 4-color high-speed inkjet printing, a cost-effective way to introduce color into your short-run titles. We, of course, offer traditional offset printing as well. Bindery is done in-house, from adhesive case binding to PUR perfect binding to mechanical binding of all types, including side sewing. We provide warehousing, kitting, distribution, inventory management, a new print-on-demand facility, streaming browser-based ebooks, and bookstore. Call us at 1-800-465-5200 for a quote on your next book project. You can also visit our website at www.tps1.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, our last segment, we're talking social media. Melody Jones is with us today, and you can find her at SocialMediaMelody.com. And I wanted to just kiss on timing. Melody, in the old days, when all this social media stuff started, there were some rules. And we would get these posts about best times to post on Twitter, never before 8 o'clock, never after 5 o'clock, which is baloney today. So can you talk about that just a little bit?
I sure can. The thing to remember, again, I'm going to go back to knowing who your target audience is as an author. If you have a very localized subject matter and you live in the mountain time zone, then you would time any post that you put out there for the mountain time zone audience. And just know that if moms are moms are your target audience, well, they're busy. They're busy during certain times of the day, so think it through. When do they have time to get on social media? It's going to be 9 at night. If you are, if you're an author that has a wide international following, you better find out when those people, figure out when your target audience is online, and that's when you post. It could be that maybe they love Facebook, but at your time it's 2 a.m. So it takes a little research to figure out who's your audience and when's the right time to post. And that being said, there's sometimes that make a little more sense than others. For example, on LinkedIn, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the bigger days and the better days to post during business hours. You're not going to get a lot of engagement off those times on that. But Twitter, as we know, is a 24/7 type of thing. And on Twitter, if you have an international audience on Twitter, they're on. They're on there at 2 a.m. They're on at 3 a.m. And you might as well create content that goes out at that time. So you got to know your audience. That's what it just comes down to. And otherwise, I found that also sometimes you just need to experiment. Honestly, put some posts out, see what kind of engagement you get at different times and different days, and see what works. When are people paying attention? And you have analytics behind the scenes you can look at to see when are people on. When are people paying attention? So those are some tricks to look and see.
Well, I think that also that, sometimes you're just going to be throwing out, like when I do my tweets and things with, for shows, for example, or I'm letting people know there's a new blog. People will retweet or not. I'm not so much looking for engagement on Twitter. I use Twitter a lot on those things. And so that's one thing. Facebook's a different animal. And LinkedIn, there's different things that go on too. But I think the power, I'm going to go back to this for everyone. You need to think about groups, thinking about creating your own group. And if we're talking about your book, if we're talking about your business, if we're talking about having an outcome of marketing, and of course, that I've always said, it doesn't matter if you have an MBA or PhD, you just have to be GOOD. And when you supply content that is meaningful, that you're marketing your skill set, and understand that. It's very important. So,
I agree.
all right.
That's
right.
Right.
Let's talk about Instagram a little bit. There's a lot of action. What's new? It is newer.
What's new? So it is newer. Last I knew, it had about 800 million active users. So it's behind Facebook, but it's got a very targeted group that hangs out there, and that's going to be your younger adults hang out there. So we're talking 18 to 35 is more who uses it currently. Now, as you and I know, that can change, but right now that's who the group is that's using it most often. And it's a very visual medium. For those who don't know what it is, you can't post anything without some kind of photograph or graphic. That's the way it is. That's the gist of that. The newest thing is, and some people might understand that there's a function on Instagram called stories. And stories are things that you might post that would be a photograph, a graphic, or a video that disappear in 24 hours. So it wouldn't necessarily go into your permanent feed, but it's something you might be able to do if you're hosting an event or something. And if you have a really great story that you've posted that you would like to keep, the newest thing on there is you can add it to your profile as a highlight. So it just basically archives that for you as a highlight. And now anytime anybody's looking at your profile, they can look at some of these quick stories that you've put out there. They can engage with those because you've got them in the highlight section. So that's the newest thing on that, newest part of Instagram. And those, if you log on to it, you can see that stories appear at the top of the newsfeed. So there is, a strategy to using the stories so they disappear right away. Other posts that you just post straight into the feed there stay on your profile. That's the difference. If they're not a story, they stay there. So that would be, a different strategy. That's the newest thing. I've seen a lot of people using it.
But here's what I like. Here's for a fiction author, for a very fun tease, you could be copy pasting and kind of doing your own little serial. No, it's going to disappear in 24 hours. You pop up another, and you keep it going. And then maybe you put up go to Canva. I'm a big believer in Canva. Go to Canva, make a post ready for the rest of the story on blah, 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 your title. Get it here. And then you market it out. That's what I would do.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. It's a series. And especially fiction authors think in terms of series. That would be easy to do stories in terms of series, and it can be both video and graphic, and it's a great use. And now you can highlight. So I actually love that. Instagram is really perfect, especially stories for live events. If you are speaking somewhere, you might recruit somebody to help create stories in Instagram and take different photographs and so forth to get that posted out there while you're speaking, while you're at your live event. That's what I think people can do with it. Or if you're an attendee at a live event and you've got commentary, that would be another way to get some stories out there. And what all of that is going to do is show your human side, show who you are as an author, and also highlight your expertise in a more natural way. Because you're just talking about what you already know in a way that people want to hear it. Mm-hmm. So that's the most powerful way to use Instagram right now is with the live stories. That being said, as far as when you post on Instagram, I've done some experimenting on my own on that as far as timing, and I find that I tend to get more interaction later in the evening. if I'm posting like scenery type stuff, nature stuff, Colorado nature mountain stuff, I get more interaction in the evening. So with Instagram, it's just a matter of what are you posting out there and posting at different times to see what kind of engagement you get.
I think that's the best.
That's what I would say there.
Yeah, I would bet that Instagram might bring more along. Well, I don't know. I think Instagram could be an all-day play.
I think so too. I think that's why you experiment and see. There are people that are on it all day. I've just noticed with nature type stuff, seems to get a better hit, in the evening. Quotes get a better hit in the day in my feed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you put up a lot of quotes in your feed?
I put some up. I will do other people and myself, but I find that people also respond to what's going on in my life. So if I posted on there not long ago a video of the South Platte River under ice up here in Sedalia, where I'm now, and that got lots of views. Just putting that and saying, look at this beautiful, breathtaking scenery. Sometimes I'll post my coffee. I think people are very serious, and it doesn't always have to be very serious on there. People are on there to also be entertained.
Sounds good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to play. Actually, I tell you, I'm going to play with two things. I'm going to really think about doing maybe a Monday noon, 15-minute, noon my time, mountain time, 15-minute publishing tip with the Book Shepherd. And then I'm playing with Instagram. I mean, we're going to be doing some stuff.
Excellent.
Right.
Excellent. I highly recommend it for if you want to, if your audience is 18 to 35 or so, get in there. If you, I see people, I don't know, they'll send a picture of their work environment, they'll send a picture of their book in progress, they'll send a picture of if they went on a trip to Ireland, if they just went down the street. It's really just I want people to remember something about social media. We take it very seriously, and I guess you should, but it's also fun. You should be having fun with it.
Yeah, social media is fun. And with that, Melody, we're at the end of the show. Thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you.
Again. And we'll see you soon, and I hope that you will plan on speaking at the Author U Extravaganza in August.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. My favorite thing all year. I love that event.
Yeah, we're in Breckenridge, everyone. Breckenridge, Colorado. And with that, happy writing, happy publishing. We'll be with you.
Thank you for being a part of Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Each week,